Hello everyone, my name is Dr. Mrs. Fumilola Lawrence Ogido and I'm the founder of Global New Herbal Life. Global New Herbal Life is a herbal production company that deals with natural herbs, locally indigenous herbs that can make our health whole. So one of the things in which we thought about before bringing this company into reality is that our bodies can heal itself. And how can we get the herbs and the plants that can make our body whole? Because the way we are is exactly the way these plants are, except we are in different locations. So the chemicals that our body needs is actually situated inside these plants, and which is one of the reasons why we decided to start a herbal production company that deals 100% in natural herbs. We all know that in this century, we have a whole lot of diseases that are flying around. And there are so many people that are dying. You need to go to the hospitals. Then you see those in the oncology department, you see the people in diabetes, high blood pressures, and things like that. Even children are, they're down on their beds with different diseases. And what are the things that causes these things? Nothing more other than our lifestyle, the toxicology level in our environment, and a whole lot of other things that we do. So one of the things in which we have decided to do at Global New Herbal Life is to bring the root cause of these problems to book instead of just treating the symptoms. And how can we do that? It's by using the efficient and the real plants, seeds, barks and stems and roots that can actually uproot these diseases from our cells. And that is one of the reasons why Global New Herbal Life is in existence. In our community today and our whole world at large, you all agree with me that there are a whole lot of diseases and viruses, bacteria that are flying around and are already bringing people down on their knees and they're not able to do things. Those with diabetes, cancers, HIV, STDs, and so many other diseases. Even malaria is a very chronic one in Africa. So one of the things in which Global New Herbal Life has decided to do is to look for the indigenous plants that we can use to actually heal ourselves. We all know that the plant-based things are actually the best that we can all use to ensure that our health is restored and we are back to the way we should be. And that is why at Global New Herbal Life, we assure you of the efficacy and the quality in our production and our manufacturing of our products. One of the things in which we do very well is that we are one of the most unique companies that have our farms. Every single raw materials that we use in the production of these herbs are actually from our farms. We ensure the growth of these herbs and not with any fertilizer.
Our product was born out of desire to help, desire to improve. And we decided that if we look at the world today, the highest people selling herbs are the Indians and the Chinese. And we thought to ourselves, we Africans also have the tropical rainforest. And these herbs are there. So that's where we started.
Before before our products come out to the public, we ensure that our due diligence is done perfectly. We take it through all the processes it's supposed to go through. It takes several days, if possible months, in the laboratory for the toxicology reports to actually be done, for all the lab analyses to be put together. And once this is done, then production starts, as long as it has passed the test. And whenever any production is being done, the quality control ensures that they do all their work to ensure that it passes the test. And every single time any production is done, the quality control, they are always the police or the soldiers standing at the doorstep. And once we pass this test, then we can bottle, and before the products are sold to the public. So what are the quality controls? What are they looking for? They want to ensure that it is actually what we have claimed that we do, that we are doing. So all the things in which we use is the plant-based herbs. No chemicals or no form of synthetic is actually added into our product.
What we do here is that I'll make sure that we cultivate our land. Then after cultivating, we look for, like lemongrass, we look for the sucker to plant. Because most of our things, we plant sucker. We don't plant seed. Because most of them don't grow in seed. We grow with sucker or the stem. So after clearing and after cultivating, we prepare the land for planting.
So our product as a line, it's a chain. You have the products coming from preparation, that is picking from the farms. So we bought our farms, we have our farms. We don't rely too much on external people to supply us. We have farms where we have most of our products. We buy, yes, we buy from people, but it's limited. So from there, we wash, we clean, we separate, and we boil. From our boiling, we test. From the testing, we get the feedback, it's okay, then we move to the next stage.
You will all agree with me that COVID-19 brought a whole lot of eye-opener to us as a nation. It was obvious to a whole lot of us that our orthodox drugs and our synthetic materials could not really do so much for us during this period of pandemic. But look at us. We had to go back to our roots. You know, what our forefathers and our great-grandparents used to heal us. A majority of us even still do it to this day. That was what we had to go back to. Some people went back to ginger, garlic, and lemons and things like that, just to ensure that their immunity system is actually built. And what does this tell us? That herbal products are actually good as long as they are produced with the right materials. And which is one of the reasons why I encourage each and every one of us that we must take our herbal products very seriously.
Egbo lele, this egbo. Oh yeah, cut down. Cut the band. So, I'm egbo yan lele. So, man get it. I will let it. Èmi wá tẹ́ pé egbo ẹ̀ la máa lò. Bó ṣe wà yín sìn. We are egbo náà níbẹ̀ tó wá jẹ́ epo kì í ṣe root. For us not to go and buy the one that we don't know about it, that's why we plant all this and make sure we extract from the raw, from the tree itself. So, because me what we are not for our agbo to be more effective, this is what we do. I love give from our local, and that's why we have all this farm that you are seeing.
One of the reasons why a whole lot of people still, kick against herbal products is because they believe that herbal practitioners or the natural medicine practitioners do not really know so much about dosages. Right now, we do all our work well. We go into our labs, we do all our analysis, and we ensure that our toxicology levels are actually being tested. Once this is done, we can know exactly the quality and the right amount of the quantity that is acceptable that a human body can actually, assimilate at a particular time.
We filter, we use natural sources, we use coal, we use charcoal, we use sand, we try all our best to be at least 99.9% free of chemicals. no chemicals in our products. So from there on, we now go and say, what do we do now? We do the calibration. Calibration measurement is when you have products that people can look at your label and say to themselves, I'm to take 2 teaspoons, or I'm to take half a glass or half a bottle, which is one of the problems we had in Africa or in Nigeria per se, coming to our herbs, because we cannot calibrate. People just take our agbo, let's call it agbo, and they take a cup and just drink, and they don't know the measurement. So we have been able to beat that.
So our dosages are actually being done. So if the Orthodox drug school do it, and I think it was just taking us, some time for us to be able to get our own self to that level. You will agree with me that the way herbal medicine is today is not the way we had it in 10 years ago. So right now, I assure you that anybody getting our product, which is the Global New Herbal Life product, they have the indications and the dosages and the direction of use, they have it on it. So we are not practicing herbal medicine in the old days way. We are trying to make it to ensure that we take it to the next generation so that it can be acceptable by the world as a whole.
Orúkọ mi ni Hamidu Abukola. Èmi ni raw material supervisor. Èmi náà ni mo tún ṣe àgbo. Tí mo wà ní ìdùnnú àwọn àgbo tó bá yẹ pé tán bá kó wá láti oko. Èyí tó bá yẹ ká pín, èyí tó bá yẹ kí oníkálùkù kó wà ní ààyè tiẹ̀. Bí àwọn ewé bí ewé pín, ewé lemongrass tea, ewé òwò, ewé soursop, àbámọ̀dá, oríṣiríṣi ewé bẹ́ẹ̀ la máa ń sè. Tí ó dẹ̀ jẹ́ pé láyé àwọn bàbá wa lọ́hùn, àwọn àgbo yìí náà ni wọ́n ń ṣe ní ayé ìgbà yẹn tẹ́ pé wọ́n ń lò tó dẹ̀ ń jẹ́ fún wọn.
What I do is to plan and organize production activities, starting from when the request is being made to the farm manager on the farm that we need some raw materials down to the finished product line. So whenever we make a request to the farm manager conveys whatever raw materials or ingredients down to the factory, and we receive it in the factory. Once the product is being received, the quality control officer ensures that the raw materials and the leaves meet up to the standard that we want. The leaves that are viable will be selected, and the leaves that are no longer in good conditions will be discarded. So once this is done, depending on the request, we sort these herbs and then we store them into the appropriate places. And whenever we have production, we bring these herbs out, we wash them with our treated water, after which the products are being moved to the production room where the boiling and eating is done. And we boil our product through direct eating. Once the boiling is achieved, we allow the product to cool for a specific period of time. At this stage, the quality control officer comes to check for the parameters that we need, like the pH, the color, the texture, the odor, and every other microbial analysis is done at this stage. What the quality control officer does is to take the sample to the lab to test for everything that is necessary. Once the quality control officer gives us the approval to bottle the products, the first filtration process will be done at this stage, after which the product will be pumped into the holding tanks. And from the holding tanks, we pump the products down into the production line.
The World Health Organization is actually becoming so much aware that they want to introduce herbal medicine into every hospitals, so that whenever any patient gets into the hospitals, he can go for the orthodox medicine, which is the medicine that is existing right now, or you can go to the alternative doctor to be able to get the herbal medicines. And this practice is actually been long in process in China, because I remember the last time I went to China, I was able to visit the medical herbalist right in the middle of the hospital. So I applaud the World Health Organization for actually looking into this, especially after the COVID pandemic. And I'm sure that if we embrace this, it will really help us and cut out a whole lot of diseases and all these afflictions around the world.
Back home in Africa, we know people understand the herbs as ready to drink. In our European partners or Canada or US, we give them the normal thing they're used to, which is the tea bags. They are used to tea bags, they put hot water and this is it. So imagine you being an African, you are in Canada, Ontario or somewhere, and you have a son that has fever. You're able to take a fever tea bag, put it in hot water, and you give your son. And so it's the way the Chinese do it. You go to any Chinese restaurant anywhere in the world. After eating your meal, they'll give you a Chinese tea. It's a customary thing they do. So why can't we do it also in Africa and give you lemongrass African herb teas?
Our commitment to development of human health cannot be overemphasized. We take pride in letting the public know that looking after people's health is our first priority. It's indeed right that every company is established to actually make profit, but our own first call is to ensure that the human health is actually saved and everybody can live a better life till their old age. While we ensure that people use herbal products to heal themselves, we are also in front line campaigning that people should get a good lifestyle so that they do not get down with sicknesses and diseases. And how can we get the lifestyles? By all the things in which we consume. You know, make your medicine your food and make your food your medicine. We have to ensure that we do not take most of the junks that we have around these days as our main course meal. You know, I'm not saying anybody shouldn't enjoy themselves, but everything should be done in moderation. Every little things that we need to do to ensure that we live well should be done in moderation. Even drinking water should be in moderation. Our factory is located at Erunwa. Erunwa is in Ijebu Northeast. Ijebu is in Ogun State is in Nigeria. And Erunwa is a village setting that still has every single natural plant or natural environment the way it ought to be. And we strategically chose this location because of the nearness to raw materials. Our farms are not far-fetched from this environment. The people or the community in this environment are still living in the ways that our forefathers and our parents lived then. And that's one of the reasons why we decided that the people that can actually prepare, make, and ensure that the production is done the way we really want to do without actually compromising the quality are people in this kind of environment. But you can agree with me that it will bring a lot of job opportunities to them, because as far as I'm concerned, Global New Herbal Life is the only factory that is in Erunwa, Ijebu State, Northeast.
Like me, you know, as a manager of this farm, I also have people that work with me that also do feed themselves with this kind of thing.
A very big opportunity to maximize our potentials and also to create jobs.
You will want to ask that, so there's so many herbal practitioners that have been existing before people like myself came into play. Yes, and we're not actually discarding them, which is one of the reasons why we also employed like 2 great minds or 3 great minds of such people. Of course, they are elderly, old men. They know exactly what all these leaves are about. They have the accounts. They know the existence of most of the leaves or most of the plants that we do not know. So in the collaboration with them, we're able to extract and get most of the information required to make all the herbs that we need to make in the natural state. And that's why it's not only the young minds that are at the factory or at the production center, we also have the old herbalists who are helping us out.
Gbogbo oògùn tí wọ́n ṣe ń bí tó pàtẹ́ mọ́ oògùn ìbílẹ̀ ni mò ń bá wọn ṣe. Bí oògùn ikọ́, bí ara ríro, bí jẹ̀dọ̀jẹ̀dọ̀, bí cancer, bí ibà and general diseases tí a lè fi ewé àti egbò wò.
But mo dẹ̀ dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ iṣẹ́ tó ń ṣe ń bì àti ewé àti egbò tó máa ń lò wọ́n á pè mí màá bá wọn já. But túbẹ̀ jù bẹ́ẹ̀ lọ gbogbo ìgbà tó ń ṣiṣẹ́ iṣẹ́ ó máa ń wà òkè. Àdúpẹ́ ló kì í ṣe mọ̀ ṣe o, ọwọ́ Ọlọ́run ló ti wá o.
Our company is majored in 2 different productions. We have this herbal skincare and we have the herbal remedies. The herbal remedies are the teas and the ready-to-drink herbs, while the skincare takes care of every single thing we have to use on our skin externally, and our spray and our body and the things to make, our everyday products that we use for our daily cleanliness. Our products have been evaluated by the National Agency of Food and Drug in Nigeria, NAFDAC. And of course, we have all our numbers and we are certified. And that's not all. The ETLS, which is the ECOWAS Trade Liberation Scheme, we are the only herbal production company that it's on that scheme right now. So that means our product can go into any of the West African countries with no barriers at all. One of the things we do for our staffs and our workers at the factory to ensure that the quality delivered is always top-notch is to train and retrain them at every single point. We also send them to school because most of them probably did not go to school. So we send them to school to have a diploma course in herbal production, herbal and drug production. And most of the staffs right now that are in the factory have all been certified by attending these schools. It is my belief that a whole lot of us in Nigeria are beginning to have that awareness that we have all what it takes to make our health better. I wouldn't want anyone to come out and come and give me what I will need to use to make myself better from abroad. And that's why I'm going to use what is within my environment to heal myself. I want to assure you that every single product that we produce at Global New Herbal Life is of high standard. We're confident of ourselves and we know what we've done. You can visit us at any time. You don't have to give us prior notice, and you'll see that our standards are always remaining the same. We ensure that our maintenance culture is of standard as well. So, why don't you just try Nigerian products? Let's stop saying, oh, it's made in Nigeria, it's not good. Nigerians are getting better, and we're getting awareness every single time that we can always be better. As long as we have the raw materials, why can't we have the end product? We don't have to export the raw materials to get the end products done and imported back again for our use. Why don't we just do it ourselves? Health is wealth.